imaginiez un jour l'incarner
Did you ever imagine you'd be playing her yourself? What did you feel when Olivier Dahan offered you the role? How did you react?
I said to him, Olivia and I spent some time talking. We actually Skyped for a period of, that was our first meeting over Skype. And we just clicked, and I just felt very safe with him. And but I also told him later on when we met, I told him a lot of things about myself and just why I felt like I could relate to Grace and her sort of vulnerability and her humanity and the struggle that she's having at this particular time. I mean, obviously this movie is only a small portion of her life, and so there's other dramatic parts to the film.
Right.
But for me, the essence of her was her humanity and her struggle, and that she was a mother, a mother and a wife who wanted to still have a career.
Have you perhaps felt the same thing in your own life? Could you imagine giving up acting?
Acting runs through my blood. There's just some sort of creative desire to express myself, and I would need that outlet. Otherwise, it'd be a nightmare to live with.
Tim Roth, you play the role of Prince Rainier, a very unique character. How did you discover
through him?
Two
things were interesting. One was an interview that he made about this particular political event that takes place in our film. And then I saw the footage of him at Grace's funeral. And the two things, for me, they were two very different men. And I wanted there to be an arc within the film from one to the other, And so it was a blend. We invented a character more than anything else.
The interesting thing was to recreate a couple that could resemble in some ways a real couple, and Tim being such a wonderful actor, I knew that we would be able to create that couple, to create his character. I like it when the actors take inspiration from themselves.
What do you think about the fact that the Grimaldi family attacked the film and won't attend the screening tonight?
Obviously I feel sad because I think that the film has no malice towards the family or towards, particularly towards Grace or Rainier. I mean, it's fictionalized, obviously, we've said that. It's not a biopic. There's the essence of truth, but as with a lot of these things, you take dramatic license at times. But I understand also because of them it's their mother and father, and I understand the protection of the privacy of their mother and father. So it's awkward is what it is, but I say that and I still sort of have respect, and I want them to know that the performance was done with love, and that ultimately if they ever did see it, I think they would see that there was an enormous amount of affection for both their parents and the love story of their parents.
Politics are not paramount in the film. They're there in the background to enhance the portrait of the character, the portrait of Grace. I wanted to give a complete portrait and show whether she would go back to Hollywood or not. I wanted to show that her choice wasn't that solely of an actress, but of a person who has a husband, involved in politics, with children. So in fact, the film talks about the choice of a woman, and I hope that the film is quite universal.
I love this festival because I think it means a great deal to filmmakers. It's an opportunity to honour authorship and unique vision, and without it, it would be hard for many of us filmmakers to get a start, or even to see films that we love.
We know we're going to see good films, no matter what the palette of films is. We know that there are other sections, un certain regard, etc. This is the best place to pay tribute to the movies.
And I grew up with a lot of macho men filmmakers, and so I was excited when I saw the work of Jane, and I'm happy to spend this time with her and the jury and watching films and talking about film.
I look around, and we met last night, and I'm very excited to have discussions with everybody about the films that we see. And I suspect from the selection, because I know a lot of the work of the filmmakers that have been selected, I suspect it's going to be really exciting.
I think you would have to say there's some inherent sexism in the industry. Thierry Frémaux told us that only 7% of the films, of the 1,800 films that were submitted to the Cannes Film Festival, were directed by women. And he was proud to say, well, actually we have 20% in all the different programs. But nevertheless, it does feel very undemocratic, and women do notice, you know. Time and time again, we don't get our share of representation. You know, excuse me, gentlemen, but you know, the guys do seem to eat all the cake, so to speak. And it's not that I resent the male filmmakers. I love all of them, but there is something that women are thinking and doing that we don't get to know enough about. And it's always a surprise for the world when a woman filmmaker does come out and you get a more feminine vision.
What do I expect? I expect to see some good films. I expect we'll see what we see, and then we'll all weigh in, and I think it'll be a creative process to find out, to identify what our job is. Because we have some guidelines, but I think in the end, it's a living thing. The target is moving. We're going to find out in these days how this group of people feels about films and feels specifically about the films that we're watching. And that's exciting. It's going to be creative and fun, and I like the selection, and I like the group of people at this table. So I'm looking forward to it.
un Oscar. Elle était l'an passé membre du jury présidé par Steven Spielberg. Elle est venue à de nombreuses reprises à Cannes pour représenter les Final Four, Moulin Rouge, Dogville, Paperboy, Hemingway and Beyond. Sublime Nicole Kidman de retour sur le tapis rouge accompagné de celui qui interprète le prince régné, Tim Roth, magnifique acteur que l'on a vu à Cannes dans Roland de Parks, dans Reservoir Dogs bien sûr, mais aussi dans Pulp Fiction, dont nous fêterons à Cannes cette année le 20e anniversaire.